Hello, my name is David Farmhouse, and I'm a write-in candidate for President of the United States. Okay, now it's a word-of-mouth campaign, so you probably won't like what's in this particular ad, but I have an idea on how to generate electricity using gravity. It's in Clean Energy, David Farmhouse. DAVIDFORMHALS, and I think it can also be used to elevate water uphill. Now, I believe in legal immigration. We have all these refugees over in the foreign countries. If we bring them in, there's some of them that be a threat to Americans, so we'd have to keep them separate, and we'd have to give them jobs. Now, it's like about 1,500 miles from like Lake Michigan to Phoenix, Arizona. Or it's the shorter distance from the Gulf of Mexico to Arizona. If you were to dig a canal with Caterpillar equipment, it put a lot of people in Caterpillar to work, and these people that be immigrating from these countries where they're in threat of their own lives because they're Christians and legal immigration, they could dig a canal. It'd be a big project, like in 1,500 miles. If you did a stretch of 25 miles, you'd have 80 different operations of 25 miles at a time, and it'd be like if you had 80 operations at like 12.5 miles, you'd have 160 operations. Okay, you'd put all these people to work with Caterpillar equipment. Let's say it was a half a mile wide. You'd line it with plastic and I think my idea, you could pump water uphill and have it gravity fed. It's real far-fetched, but it's more far-fetched than digging a canal to keep the Mexicans out. But you could irrigate the Arizona, like in Phoenix, Arizona. It's hot, and these people, I think, are coming from hot areas. I think we could put them in an area where there's nobody living, as far as I know, and irrigate the desert with fresh water from Lake Michigan. Have it great. You'd take a lot of farmland, a half a mile area for 1,500 miles. That'd be a lot of farmland, but like a half a mile or maybe a quarter mile wide. You dig down maybe 100 foot or so and pack the dirt up on each side, maybe a half a mile wide, line it with plastic, put poles up and put a ceiling on it so it didn't evaporate, have it so rainwater could get through it, and line it and have it so it would drain downhill ever so often. You'd use my idea to pump water up so it'd flow downhill continuously for like 1,500 miles. You'd have like every 25 miles or every 12 miles, you'd dam it up and then pump water uphill again and dam it up and let it drain downhill. Have it connected. I think there's like about 10 football fields tall, height distance. I think it's like 3,000 some foot height distance in between Phoenix, Arizona, and Lake Michigan. There's like 3,000 or 300,000 or something distance in between Phoenix, Arizona, and Lake Michigan. It's like 10 football fields or so. Height distance in between Lake Michigan and Phoenix, Arizona. You could get about 1,000. There's like 1,000 yards in a football field, and if you stacked about 10 football fields, that's about the distance in between Lake Michigan, the top of Lake Michigan, and the top of Phoenix, Arizona. So that's as far as you'd have to pump this water up. Plus, you'd have to raise it ever so often. But I don't know as far as what the other thing to be involved with in getting it that far, what you'd have to go around the rivers or anything. You'd have to start up far enough north, and then it'd freeze, but I think the water would go underneath where it froze on top. and you'd line the bottom with plastic. You'd put a level over the top so it didn't evaporate, but you'd have it so rainwater to go down through it. You'd have posts down through it with cement so it didn't evaporate or rainwater get through it. And you could have it drain. I think my idea, if you go in and look at Clean Energy, David Farmhouse, I think you could pump water up ever so often where it drained downhill. And you could get water from Lake Michigan to Phoenix, Arizona. It'd employ these immigrants and not take American jobs. I believe in legal immigration. These people are in fear of their own lives. Freedom is not free. Once you get here, you can pay for it. And then once they got here, they could live around, not necessarily Phoenix, but in the desert. And we could turn the desert into cropland. They could live in a place with water. Now, if you didn't do that, you go out in the ocean, and you could build my idea out in the ocean and convert salt water into fresh water. You could use my idea. I don't know how many of these things you'd have to build to change salt water into fresh water. It may be easier using my idea to convert salt water into fresh water rather than digging a canal and using all this farmland. You could build down into the bedrock, hook posts, and build up, or just build on land and go into the Gulf of Mexico and use my idea and build a thing that would convert or distill salt water. It may take a lot there, and convert salt water into fresh water and irrigate the desert. That may take a lot. I think it'd put more people to work, and we want to put more these people to work and not take American jobs. And once you had this thing where you'd have to continuously distill salt water, but once you had this irrigation system working, it'd do it for a long time, and it'd just run for a long time. The water run downhill on its own, and I think it'd work on its own for quite a little while. I don't know what the maintenance would be on it, but you'd have these things running in oil. In my idea, I said water, but you'd have these things running in oil, and they'd pump water uphill ever so often, maybe every 6 miles or so, or every 12 mile. Every 12 mile, it'd be 160 of them. In the old, in 80 miles, it'd be 160 of them. And if you did it in 2,000 miles, it'd be 312 of them. But I think I don't know what the feasibility of it as far as an engineering standard, but in an engineering standard, the Boulder Dam was a big accomplishment. But getting the Caterpillar equipment, that put a lot of Caterpillar guys to work. And there's a lot of people over there in these countries, they're begging for freedom, and I believe in legal immigration, and we could bring them over here and put them to work. They wouldn't take American jobs. It would take American farm ground, maybe a half a mile wide, maybe farther, digging the canal deep and pushing the dirt up on the side and letting it drain downhill and ever so often pumping it back uphill, and then digging the canal and letting it drain down and then pumping it back uphill. If you go to Clean Energy, David Farmhouse, I think my idea would pump water uphill. So once you got it back uphill, you could let it drain downhill again let's say, every 12 mile or every 25 mile, 6 miles at a time or 12 miles at a time, you'd pump it uphill again. And every 25 mile, you do it again, 12.5 miles at a time or 6.5 miles at a time. The interstate was a big project. If you figure how many interstates we have in America now, this would just be one project. If you figure how many interstates are in America now, this would just be one project. This would be one project compared to how many interstates we have. But if you figure the number of interstates we have in America, this would just be one project going across America. If you figure how much land the interstates take, how much farmland the interstates take, this would just be one project, maybe a half a mile wide or a quarter mile wide. They just go deep and stack the land up and line it with plastic and a plastic roof, maybe concrete posts up with a plastic roof, signing off. It's just an idea. The money'd come from nowhere, and the employees would be people overseas yearning for work. Bye. David Forum Hall, presidential candidate. It's just an idea. You can think about it. Bye.